In this video, I'm going to show you my homemade apple grinder. So the apple grinder is made almost all out of wood, and it's got this chute here for putting the apples in. And in here, there's a grinding drum which actually just uses stainless steel screws to grind up the apples. So if we take the chute off, and let's have a closer look at that drum, and you can see the countersink screws are inclined a bit so that this edge kind of cuts away from the apples a bit. And this drum sits inside this wooden box, and the box is what it kind of grinds against, so it kind of holds the apples, but it comes out easily like this. And if we look inside this box, it has a bit of a bevel ledge right here, so that the apples, when they get really thin, don't just get pulled through the slot. Now this wooden drum is just on a dowel for a shaft, and I've got on here a hand crank for cranking it, which works quite effectively, much better than carburetor-based grinders. But if I want to grind up a lot of apples, I can just put a pulley on the shaft and then power that with a motor, and we've used a grinder of this very type of construction to grind about 1,000 pounds of apples a year for many years now, so this type of grinder really does work for a long time. I've given all the grinding surfaces a coat of vegetable oil, which is also what I use to lubricate the wooden bearings. I just pour a little bit in here so that there's no artificial grease or anything like that that's going to contaminate the juice, because if the oil gets in the juice, well, it's not poisonous. And the box itself has also been rubbed in with lots of oil, and those are really the only parts that get wet. So that was just 5 apples that I ground through, and if you look at this mash, that will press really easily. So this grinder is really good at preparing the stuff for juicing. In fact, the juice is just about flowing out of it. Now if there's a lot of apples to grind, a pulley on the shaft and the little utility motor really speeds things up. Now if I was actually making cider, there would be a whole garbage can down here to catch the mash. Look at that, it's almost juice already. Now the catch is I actually built this apple grinder after the apple season. So I actually had to buy some apples from the grocery store. Normally we just get those from trees from abandoned farms. So that's all I'm going to grind for today, just to show off how it works. Now a really important part of using an apple grinder is to clean it up after using it, so it'll be clean and dry for use next year, and that's why I made this apple grinder, so it's really easy to take it apart for cleaning. And now I just gotta let those parts dry, and they'll be ready for next season. Now I don't actually have an apple press here, but I just thought I'd show off what a difference it makes to have properly ground up apples. So even without an apple press, I was able to squeeze all this juice out of the pulp, and you can really see this is not very juicy at all anymore. Most of the juice extraction happens in the grinder, not in the press. Now I like to ferment the stuff in partially filled 2-liter pop bottles because these bottles can take a lot of pressure. And the stuff, unless you pasteurize it, will start fermenting on its own. So this one's been fermenting for a while, and you just have to every once in a while let the pressure out. And you have hard apple cider, carbonated.